Oh, what's up guys? Pat here from the Decon project. We just got an awesome set of equipment from Evolpow. We are pumped. This is the first company to donate some equipment to us. We're gonna do a review. I'm gonna try and be as honest as possible, give you guys the best knowledge you can, and then follow along because we're gonna donate this to a local fire station. So let's go check it out. All right guys, so as you can see, tons of boxes and some of these are heavy. So my FedEx guy really loves me. But as you can see right here, we got the bench. It's adjustable. I'm super pumped to do a review on that. Got a 45-pound barbell, 260 pounds of plate. So you got your 10s, 15s, 25s, 35s, and 45s. And then the big baby. This is the tank, the P3A tank. We are so excited. Now the fun part of putting this together, which I actually get a big kick out of, I love it, and follow along and see what we do, and then I'm gonna put a workout together and give you guys an honest review. All right guys, so first and foremost, we're gonna rock and get this bench unboxed and see what we're working with. Awesome guys, so now let's get this thing opened up. Oh man, perfect. So they did in fact send me the red and black. Obviously as a firefighter, we are all about the red and black. So check this out and kind of get everything laid out and put together. It's my favorite part. I love it. All right, make sure, I've always done this. I've done this a million times. I take all this, I throw it into the fire pit, and then my wife is like, hey, we're missing a piece, and I've got to go dig through the fire pit to find this one piece that I threw in the box because I got too excited. Looks very, very simple to put together. It doesn't actually have any like one-by-one steps in here. As you see, it just kind of is like a broad picture of where all the bolts and nuts are supposed to go. But this is for the bottom bracket, so this is like the base of everything. So we'll get that going and rock and roll. I just put it together, super easy to put together. It's hands down the easiest adjustable bench I've put together, and I think I've put together like 6 or 7 now. So pretty cool. One thing I noticed was the angle numbers. You know, each bench, it seems like has a little bit different, but this one has 17, 30, 42, 53, 64, and 76. And then down here at the seat, you got 8, 15, and 20. It's always kind of interesting. I'll do some digging and see if I can find out why they choose those numbers per se. But man, super great. One tip when you're putting this together, leave this a little bit looser than you think. So that way, as you're going back, you can kind of see, that way it just drops right in. If it's too stiff, it'll just sit there and float. Just one pointer. But let's check it out. So one thing I was telling y'all earlier, this has a really narrow top headpiece. And I'm actually kind of excited because there's so many times where my shoulder blades pinch and grab a little bit too much of the bench press. And I'm thinking I might actually like it. So let's try it out. It's the first time I've sat on it. So, oh, see, I feel already like I can get a pretty decent amount of depth. My shoulder blades actually wrap just a little bit around there, and I feel pretty good. So that's kind of a cool little spot. I haven't seen a bench built out quite like that, so that's kind of neat. I thought that was a little different. The padding is pretty good. I mean, not like super high standard, but it is at least a little bit of a padding. One thing I'll say with this material, keep an eye on, try and not let it get too sun-baked. This will shrivel up and get eaten up. And one thing you need to do is keep it clean and maybe even just put some applicator on there to keep it a little bit moist, because if this gets wet or dries up in the sun, it'll shrink up and they'll start cutting. That's kind of that pleather plastic kind of thing. But let's feel it out a couple different angles. So we'll go up to the 53. Sorry, I got to get used to those numbers. The gap goes away for the most part. So you saw that there's a bit of a gap between the bottom, the seat part and the back piece. But honestly, right here, you don't even feel it. It feels pretty great. And that's a pretty good working spot. I could definitely do some good shoulder work that way. We'll go all the way up to the top, which on this one is 76. So on the rep one that I use at home, it's 85, just to kind of give some comparisons. But that's pretty much about as straight up, giving you a little bit of a gap to be able to drive into those shoulders. So pretty good spot. I like it a lot. And then we'll try these down here as well and just kind of feel out and see how that feels. Yeah, I mean, that feels a lot of good angles. So, and look at the gap now. It's pretty much non-existent. It works pretty well. So between the seat angle and the back angle, you really do get a pretty wide variety of different spots that you can work with. This is an all-in-one package. It's a power rack with a cable machine and a pulley system. We've got a landmine attachment. I thought this was really, really a cool addition. It's got the pivot right here on the little gimbal style knob up here to where it can go really any and all angles. Simply slide the bar in, lock it down, rock and roll. Then I'll come around here. I've got a 25 on. I'll lift it up in a safe place, kind of getting it chest loaded. And I'm gonna do single arm shoulder drives. And I can rotate just like that. The coolest thing about this, man, this thing is super balanced and distributes the weight really, really well, straight up through middle. And because it's based off of a single pulley, it doesn't really matter what side the weight is on. Now, I wouldn't overload it because I've noticed that it does kind of have a threshold. But at one point, I actually put a 35 and a 25 and then a 10 on this side just to see how it rolls. It still rolled fine, but you could tell it was getting a little bit extra friction on this side. Just part of it. It's a little test I put it through. Right now, we've got two 10s on, and I'm going to show you simple little lateral movement right here. Going from a low spot up, trying to stay in line, and switching up both arms. Great for the outside delt. One of the cons, unfortunately, of the tank is the height. It is 84 at the high bar right here, 84 inches tall. So what they want is, they want you to put the J-cups inside the rack. They did give you little crossbars for safety arms and stuff like that, but I'm 5'11", and if I try to even go remotely over arm, I'm gonna be banging the top of the cage. So we're trying to test and see what it looks like on the outside, which is where I would prefer to work out anyways, is on the outside rack. That way if I drop something, it's not banging, I'm not clanging, I'm not making a bunch of noise. I'm dropping it on the ground, I'm able to bail safely. But as you can see, my handles seem to be kind of in the way a little bit. Just takes a little bit of creativity getting to it. I got this probably about as high as I'm gonna get it to go without banging up and down on it. I'm gonna rack off like that into a front rack, readjust, and I'll be able to strict press still. Rack it. So I will say the barbell is great. The weights are great. The J-cups are weak. They're super small. So it wouldn't be a bad idea down the road if Evolpow upgraded its J-cups a little bit, or maybe we can get a third-party option in on that. They're really not super expensive, but as you can see, these are pretty light duty, and us firefighters like to throw around some weight. So just something to think about, but in all, So far, I've been really impressed with all the options this thing has. Other little con, these are so thin that you can actually see they're a little bit bent and warped already just from the weight leaning up against the wall. Just pin them up against the wall like that and stacking the other weights. I don't think there's any damage to it. I feel like I can actually kind of even manipulate it back, but that is why I strongly recommend using the plate storage that they provide up and down the sides of this rack. Keeping these off the ground, not letting them get smashed, things of that sort is going to be huge. But Evolpow, if there's one thing I really like about this product, the plates are pretty dope. So good job. I'm going to do more workouts, back, chest, leg. I'm going to try and do one each day and give you guys some movements that you can do with this and continue putting it through the firefighter test. Cons are, these are plastic pulley systems. Now, I will say if you go on Evolpow's website, you can see that they have aluminum pulleys that you can add. It is a little bit of an upcharge though, but the plastic, we know that's not going to last super long. They are going to take some wear and tear, some banging around. And you can also see, look at this carabiner. Super small. I mean, super small. Already has a little bit of wear and tear just from where metal on metal is. If you look at some of the competitors at bigger companies, they have the looped carabiner. It seems to hold a little bit better. It's also bigger and it's stainless steel, so that works really well. You've got the double pulley system. Everything goes up. The one thing I will say, I wish that this was actually different. I wish that they had the top coming from the back, so that way, and I'll show you why. If I lower this, if I can lower it down, give me a sec. If I lower it down all the way, I really don't have a lot of space to rack and put the J-clips in to rack the bar. I would have to go all the way to the top. Well, I'm only 5'11", but if you look at that, that's right in my way. That's right where my head's at. So I wish that they would have had it different to where line going down came through the back, as you see with some of the competitors like a Rogue or a Rep. It's just something that I would probably touch up on down the road. That's going to give you usable space here. Now, the reason they do that, I will correct, the reason that they do that is because they want you squatting in the rack right here. They give you the little safety arms right there so that these cords or the cables really aren't in the way. However, how many of us really want to do heavy squats and lifts? Like I said, I'm not that tall. I don't have a lot of clearance right here. There's not a lot of room for movement or sway in between here at all. It's just not very wide. Something I would probably want to go and touch up on if this was my forever rack. But in all, it's all doable. You can definitely make it work. I've done it work. See at the end of the video for some of the workouts that I've done. Then we'll get over here. One thing is they tried to save and ball on a budget, and I totally get it. Said you've got the plastic pulleys. They're just not going to last very long. But look at this angle. This angle goes straight into a straight pulley here. Over time, you know it's going to wear and tear. This pulley right here is going to bend out because all that weight and pressure is being put on it. It's going to warp out. You're going to probably have to replace that every year at least. And if this is being used at a busy firehouse with a lot of dudes getting after it, you're going to probably replace that every half a year. So just something to think about. Quick pro is their pull-up bar. I actually like this, and they did a good job. There's multiple different grips. The knurling is actually not too bad. So please, firefighters, don't go up and just tape up and throw random skin tape or duct tape or whatever kind of tape you can find to add some grip to this. This knurling is perfect. It's grippy. You're not going to maybe be able to do like kipping pull-ups, but you're going to be able to get your pull-ups in really, really well. I like that a lot. Another thing is, obviously, a little bit of smaller uprights. They're not as wide as some of the bigger, heavier, bulkier ones, so this can't hold near as much weight as some of your stronger power racks, like ones that you may see from a Rogue or a Rep or something like that. And with that comes really teeny tiny bolts going across. So remember that. I would definitely not recommend throwing, 500, 600 pound squats up on this thing. It's just not going to hold over time. You may get lucky once or twice, but over time it's going to get banged up. The biggest pro of all, and I'm trying to grade this all as not just what it's like for me in my gym, but how is this going to translate to being utilized in a fire station. Think fire gyms, firefighters, we're rough, we're nasty. It's in the bay somewhere. Maybe you're lucky and you've got a room actually established for your gym. Heck yeah, more power to you. Most of us aren't that lucky. This is going to be able to withstand. You're going to be able to get tons of movements for very little real estate. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate. I mean, I've seen these parked between the trucks, in between the bays, and you're able to get your workout in. It's got everything in one, all the stuff you can ask for. And the price, guys, $699. That doesn't even make sense for me to think that something like this can come that affordable, but it can. Obviously, as you stack some of the attachments, the weights that you do need, because this is plate loaded, that price will go up some, but $699 for this rack, it's pretty amazing. That kind of takes the cake as far as all the pros go. But yeah, I love it. I think it's a great piece. I would strongly recommend it for a firehouse. The price you cannot beat. And the cool thing is their customer service is awesome. I've asked many questions. They've been really, really responsive, really supportive of what we're doing here, our mission. And they will be able to help you and guide you with any questions you may ask. If something comes broken or busted, do not be surprised if Evolpow immediately sends you repair or replacement parts. So really cool. Great job, Evolpow. Follow along for more. I can't wait to see where the future goes. All right, guys, so the last thing we're going to review really quick is the barbell. This barbell is pretty awesome. Actually, I love it. It's got pretty sharp knurling, which I like. My hands are rough, as most firefighters. We got the callus and all that. It's pretty nice and easy to get a good grip on. It spins great, as you can see right here. I've put it through tons of cleans, tons of drop tests. It works really, really well. We loaded it up. I think we were able to get like 600 pounds of your regular style temper weights on, and it was still able to hold, so that was pretty great. It is a 7-footer. So yeah, I mean, awesome stuff. I do maybe wish that it had a little bit of a center knurling right here to hold grips for back squats or something like that, just to have that placement to where it holds a little bit more. But some people don't like that because it tears up their neck. Me, I don't care. I've had a bruise or a rub up there for so long that I don't mind it. So this is $229. It is a 1,000-pound limit, so plenty of strength. We can throw around a lot of weight with that. This is the 45-pound bar. They also have a 35-pound bar as well for the females. Pretty standard across the board as far as that goes. Then we'll get into the weights, which are my favorite. Of all the products that Evolpow sent us, the weights are my favorite. They bounce great. I love color coded. All of my tempers are the same, that kind of that rubber black. I don't want to say boring looking, but these are anything but boring. They're really great. They look cool. Pretty easy to say, hey, you know, let's go just throw a couple 25s on. The 25s look sweet as you're doing some power cleans or cycling the barbell a little bit. So I would definitely recommend getting their plates as well. And they normally have really good package deals with whatever you buy, because a lot of their stuff is plate loaded, like the rack. You know, go to the website, have the scroll down, and boom, there's an additional barbell and the plates for normally a pretty good price. I will tell you right now, they've got a really great discount out. So check them out at evolpow.com. Let them know Pat sent you. And also go check out my video of my home gym tour. It's awesome. It's constantly growing. We've even added a couple new pieces just in the last couple of weeks. So I'm gonna have to update it and show you guys more. So be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned, because we're actually giving this whole rig, everything that Evolpow donated, to a local fire station. Can't wait to show you guys a video and drop it off to those guys so that they can pursue their fitness and take care of themselves. Awesome.